Well, whenever I cast and I have to eat in between, I end up eating over 3-4 hours, and by the time I'm done casting, I'm still not done eating. Alright.
Happened to me sometime as well. Let's go into game number 1. Dry Arabia, WSVG, Showdown stage, Mentalist against Jordan. No, game number 1.
Yep, you excited for this? I know you're a big Jordan fan, just a little.
Well, obviously I've played a lot with Jordan and I'm kind of friends with him. Yep. So for me it's very special to see those games. And obviously I'm super excited about this whole tournament. So I feel those games are very special, yeah. And each of every one of those group stage games, I think, except maybe those games who decide to get 3rd and 4th. But every game who's still on the run for going to the Maldives, every point is big now.
Yep. Okay, so we have towards the top right-hand side of the map, we have Mentalist. It is an Aztec war, once again, like every other single Dry Arabia pretty much that we've seen so far in this tournament. Playing in blue, and he is slightly behind in terms of Vil production. I just saw that the 8th Vil come out a little late, so it seems like a couple of seconds late, maybe a bit of idle time. Not too sure what happened there. I do have Friendfo colors on, by the way, Notford, because people were complaining yesterday, so I'm just going to keep it on for this map at the very least. We'll see if I change it for water maps, because blue is somewhat hard to spot on water maps, and I'm expecting that we will see some from Jordan. Yeah. Alright, so...
Yeah, luckily we don't have any Chinese players, because most of the time if we have to pronounce like Chinese names, we tend to say, okay, it's orange against green or something.
Yep.
Instead of breaking our tongue. But this time we know their names, we know who they are, and we don't have to call them by their color.
I don't struggle too much with Chinese names.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, I know it can be.
But ask Membrio to pronounce a Chinese name.
Yeah, it's
tough. I don't know if he's trying to pronounce a name or if he's sneezing.
Oh wow, okay! I've not really heard Mem try, so I'm sure that people understand the meaning, and that's what matters, right? As long as you know who they're talking about, that's the most important thing. So, towards the bottom left we have Jordan, also playing as Aztecs in red, bringing his first war in, and going for that second war also very early, mainly worried about the boar steal coming in from Mentalist with that Eagle Warrior. He spots the boar, but only as it's coming back in towards a TC, and there will be no boar steal from, it seems, either player. Yep, Mentalist is going for that second boar now as well, and walling off a little bit with that house builder, building the house at the front. So fairly even, both players obviously will be going for the rush. Jordan just keeping that boar under his TC until he can finish his first boar.
Yeah, that's a very nice move, and we haven't seen this too often. Most of the time if you try to lay a boar, you stole one and you want to keep them into the TC and don't try to get 2 boars at a time. But now it seems like the meta has shifted to getting both boars as early as possible and try to keep them close to your TC.
Yeah, well, with Aztec War every single time, and the Eagle Warrior being so easy to steal a ball with, it makes sense. You get the longer line of sight. Obviously, you have to zigzag much less with the Eagle Warrior stealing the boar and bringing it back to your TC. Players tend to find their resources very early and head across the map early, so it makes sense to get that boar in a bit earlier. Just keep it under the TC where it's nice and safe, and at least prevent the other player from stealing your boar, even if you don't get to steal theirs.
Look at the wall of Jordan between the 2nd and the 3rd house. Is there a gap between the houses?
I don't have a grid mod.
I have the grid mod and I still can't decide. I think there is a small hole, yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell with the hill.
Yeah, most of the time it's tough to tell with hills, and therefore most of the time the holes are during walls.
But can we trust that Jordan maybe has tested this? Because he was building houses for a purpose in that area just to make sure that it was a wall off. We'll see. We'll see if there is a hole. But he has managed to close the left-hand side of his base in towards the TC with some houses, palisades, and his barracks, unless there is a hole. That means he has safe gold. There's wood over there that he can take. He is taking the wood closerest to his TC, which he can also wall in, and is also pushing in deer. So very nice economy for Jordan. For Mentalist,
Jordan is walling on quite a small space, and Mentalist has decided to wall a bit more space of the map, but his map wasn't as good as Jordan's for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna go for that full wall off, it seems, whereas Jordan's just walling off in a very small way towards his TC. He's also taking the deer with his villagers, just gonna walk back. Aztecville's obviously carrying a bit more. I'm not sure if that extends to hunt as well. I've never actually tested it, but I would
Yeah, pretty sure.
assume so. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it carries more than 35.
I think so, because you're hunting with deer only with 3 villagers, and they carry 39 instead of 35.
Yeah. That's okay. He actually had 6 villagers. 3 on each deer, so he's actually managed to get one closer to the mill as well. So not too much of a deficit for him, considering that Jordan was only able to push one of his deer in towards a TC. Looks like Jordan's just going to play defensive with his brush and quickly up to Feudal Age. Quite early. What is that? 35 pop. Okay, so he's actually done a fairly standard time, and Mentalist is going to go 36. Usually see a 35 click up for Aztec, so going for the 36 means he's going to be a little later up, but with a slightly better economy. Not sure if it's worth the extra population. But he has to wall very, very large area, so perhaps just thinking about that and making sure that his economy is strong enough to FC is worth the extra population if he's going to wall that much.
Yeah, since he's in the aggression, it isn't too important to get up as quickly as possible. So it's totally fine to, build another villager and go up with 36 here.
Yeah, Jordan just camping the hill there, making it impossible for a Mentalist to fight. He can't. He's getting the hill though. Let's see the micro here. Yeah, I don't know about this. Mentalist's micro is interesting. I don't like it. Jordan, I think will...
Yeah, it's 1 against 1, and now the villager is helping out a bit as well. Mentalist kind of took the hill, but it's tough to basically secure the hill all the time if you're fighting with melee units.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem was his units were walking around rather than fighting for half the fight. I'm not sure what that was all about, and Jordan was just... I think he let the militia go, and it worked out better for him, in fact. But nice eagle micro, and he will lose the brush now.
Maybe the eagle, even save the eagle, that's nice. Even 3 militia left, but those militia won't do too much in this game.
Yep. Well, Mentalist
they will scout some...
finishing his walls.
Force some walls, but... won't be a big problem.
I think he would want to wall that off anyway, so it's not a big, massive loss for him. He has not scouted out the forest towards the top, so he's probably just going to wall in towards the forest near his gold if he needs to wall. And keeping an eye on what Jordan's doing with his scout, of course. Is he going to run in? No, he's not going to run into the TC. Okay. I guess we're never going to find out. Whether there's a hole.
2 archeries exposed against 2 archery exposed. I think we might. Mentalist should never ever go there and check with the eagle and show Jordan if there is a hole. You should always check with the palisade wall. If there is a possibility to build a palisade wall, never check with your eagle.
Okay, okay. Well, that's something new. I've never actually thought about if there's a hole. Guys, check with the palisade if you're at that level, of course.
Yeah, most players have 1 villager on a hotkey anyways to mark wolves. Or maybe some players even build some palisades around the town center of the enemy to see how many farms they have.
Yep.
So just use the same villager and check if the palisade is possible to build there or not. And Jordan sending an offensive villager to build a siege workshop to harass this wood line of Mentalist.
Well, Mentalist is up to Castle Age later. I think Jordan noticed Mentalist's Feudal Age, knows that he's gone up one build later, and then he's going to have crossbows a little bit earlier. He's going to be able to get that Siege Workshop out a little earlier. Wants to play very aggressive. I think that's also... well, he's actually pretty much... nope, he's not completely walled himself in. He's just got a militia keeping an eye where it's open.
Oh, and Mentalist instantly kind of blindly did his defensive Siege Workshop.
Yep. I think he's just playing nice and defensive, probably realizing that Jordan's up a little earlier, maybe thinking that he's going to get outmassed in terms of crossbows as well. I was looking at his archer production and it was definitely behind Jordan's while they were both going up, and you can see it in the military count. They've actually evened out pretty much now, but Jordan's still one crossbow ahead at this point.
I think it's even more than one crossbow. Jordan has +2, and I think... yeah, Mentalist is just researching +2 as well.
Yeah.
Mentalist has Town Watch, so he didn't lose a single villager.
But he had to get Town Watch quite early, so that's still quite a bit of cost in terms of food. And he's got the idle time on his wood line as well, which is never great. Forced to build houses